Welcome to the channel. Building overseas doesn't have to be a nightmare. My goal is to help you make that dream a reality. Expect weekly tips on the process of building that dream home and the lifestyle it brings. So check out my videos, subscribe, and share. Thank you. Hello. Let's do first things first. Let me know if you can hear me. We can take it from there. Thank you for joining me on this Saturday, regular schedule. Um, just to give you some info to hopefully help you in your build. Okay, so once I get some updates from you guys about the sound and everything, we can just proceed with that. I hope your building is coming along well. You guys are still, you know, building well, in spite of all the challenges that come with it. We can hear you. Thank you. Uh, thank you, Village Boy Day. Thank you. Uh, appreciate it. Welcome back. Welcome back. I like the feedback. Bridget, thank you. Yes, we can. All right. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We're going to dive into it. So, my goal today is to give you some different take about all things electrical, things that you can add. Is always adding. We are learning. We all learning. Okay. We all learning. So, always think about that. Just to add to things you already know or things you are researching yourself. So I'm gonna approach this thing in a different way. I'm not gonna go too technical. Just gonna share with you some of the things I think is important that all of us can do as well. So when we talk about electrical, right? So there's a couple of components. So I address things that you have to think about: selecting quality cable or wiring, and also the third one would be how to prevent people from stealing your products and stuff like that. Because that's very important because it is happening. So the first one is like when you think about electrical, is a lot of things. It's a lot of things, and not everybody can. We all know lighting stuff for the appliances, fans, AC, all those the basic stuff, right? But also sometimes there's other things. You maybe want to build an outlet into the ceiling because you want to use projector, right? There's a bunch of stuff that you have to look at it, and so that you want to make sure that all those provisions are being made in there. Maybe there's other things that you want that you want it to be unique. So you want to make sure there's a power outlet with the right amp for that built into that aspect. Then there's another one is, so how do you know if your cable, your wiring is good, right? It's very important, right? To know that it's good. Why do we care? Safety, right? You want to make sure that the cable is going to do the job that is meant to do. So there's a couple of things I want to share with you how to test to make sure that your cable wire is very good. On some of the tests we're not going to be able to do so, but I'll share with you anyway. So usually when they make these cables or wires, they go through a series of tests. There's a bunch of them. One is they do the electrical testing, in which they test for the performance of the insulation conductors through they apply the wiring to high voltages using specialized equipment. We're not going to be doing all that, right? Another one is called the mechanical test, right? So in which they are testing for the cable to perform under certain environmental conditions is being specified for, right? The cable may be exposed to seawater and all kinds of stuff. So they're testing for that. That we're not gonna do that. And there's material testing, right? The testing how well everything is constructed well, to check for durability, longevity, and sometimes you expose it to other things as well, right? We might not even do that. Then You have the mechanical and other aspects, chemical testing as well too. Expose them to acid, pH, certain chemicals. We are not doing that. Now, there's one test though that I think we can all do. Okay, which I think all of us can do. That test is it is called the fire test, right? So the fire test, we want to know what is the cable going to do when fire happens, catches fire. We want to know how is that going to perform. This test we can do. All right. So it is very very important, and this is the fire test is the minimum testing requirement when they make this product. Right. That's the minimum standard they could do, and the goal basically uh, is to test for the spread, the flame, volume of the flame, and also the smoke density, right? So what we could do basically is that we could expose a wiring to a lighter, and then you can see whether the flames get really bigger and they start spreading along the wire, or there's a lot of smoke, right? And if you see those three things, that means the wire is not good. Because basically, think about it. When the fire happens, you want it to more localize. You don't want it spreading through the whole from everywhere to the house, because the wires go through the whole house, right? So that we can do, if that makes sense. So that's a test that we can do if we're on the ground, to test for in case of fire, to see how these wires are going to perform. So if you're not on the ground, it's something that your electrician, you can call them, they can just do it. And you can see that when they light the lighter to the cable, is the fire getting massively bigger and spreading in a ton of smoke. Or that would be your first thing to let you know it's a no-go. That's the basic standard. If it doesn't meet that, then basically is telling you that the construction of the materials was not even good, and also the cable itself, right, has issues. So you don't want that, right? So that's the minimum we can do that I think people should do, especially those who are working with electrician who's their first time, right? They don't have tons of years of experience with them and stuff like that. So you want to check that, because not necessarily the electrician may be unethical or something like that. Sometimes this happen, right? Somebody sold them the wrong wire. It happens too. Okay, does that make sense? So minimum test is the fire testing, right? That is the minimum. Now, um, hi Ivy for joining. Now, another thing we could do also is this. I'll share with you some of the brands. Let me know if that'll be helpful. Some of the brands you could buy that so when you're looking to buy your electrical cables and wires, right? So check. So the brands are Romeo, right? Another brand is Cable Metal, right? And another brand is called Tropical. So they are very good. These three are very good. I'm not saying if it's not here, it's not good. Check with your electrician. But I'm saying that these three are very good. I've checked with certified electricians, and they vouch on these products, that any of these products from these brands, as far as electrical wiring or cables going, are very, very good. Okay. So that's something that will help you. Don't make any assumptions, anything like your builder got everything squared up. Um, so you have to advocate, you paying them. So you have to advocate for yourself to make sure that the right product is being used. So then you have the right product, and then the quality and the expertise of the installer, right? So that you have the two combo. When you have that, that is a perfect scenario. So look at these brands, or if you're yet to buy them, have your electrician look at these brands, Romeo, RR, Cable Metal, and Tropical. Okay, those those are very, 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 very good. And I trust my guys. If it's bullshit, they'll tell me bullshit. Because we don't sugarcoat anything here. Because we care about the results. Is to move you from A to B or B to C and help you execute everything that you are doing. If you have any questions about that, we'll take it from there. Before I dive into ways to help you prevent your cables. There's things that is still going to be in the consultation that some of you are avoiding. That's the key to tie everything together. Okay, there's a value in that. Okay, and so I want you to explore that option so you can tie everything together because um, building a house from ground to finishing is a lot of decisions and a lot of expertise. And some people let their builders just decide. I know this for a fact. This for a fact. Um, at least I can speak on the last 10 years on this, is that the sequence that we build is not efficient for us. We, the people that are paying, is not efficient because you can take 2 4 months and they will give you, after this, they will say, one will say do this, one will say do this. And sometimes it's not efficient. And so we put something together to help you navigate. I call the shot 99.9% of all the decision on my project. I'm calling it. My guys are good, but I'm leading it. I'm saying from here we do this next, right? They're not making that decision. When I started at Castle House, they were making that decision, but now I figure some few things up, so I make the decision. I say from here we go here and we go there. Okay, if that makes sense. So that information is there on our website for you to patronize and get you to be the overseer of your project. All right. Okay. Now, there's a couple of things I want us to know. I want you guys to be aware. So, cable is a hot commodity, right? Cable wiring, cable, whatever term you want to use, they are different things. Is a hot commodity that people are taking them. It's happening. It happens to people I know personally, uh, and and people that have advised not to do certain things. They did it in a few days. The wires are stripped. Okay, and so there's two ways. Figure out two ways that you can actually protect them. Two ways that I've come up with. Maybe there's a third way, but two ways. I would say that now we will have to delay the installation of the cable. We will do the plumbing phase two, which we put the pipes and everything in there. But in terms of wiring, because we can literally delay that for a long time. We can delay it to much further along in the project until we have until we've done the following things. One, secure the property. Secure the property. What I mean by secure the property, there's a fence wall. There's some kind of electrical wiring to prevent people from jumping or some razor stuff. There's a gate and stuff like that. There's also secure doors, external doors and windows to prevent people from gaining access easily into the house, and have an oversight person on site. Maybe they can stay in a boys' quarters or they can stay in a security room and stuff like, because 20% of the people stealing the cable are sometimes the electricians involved as well. You have some, the other crew, then the rest people in the neighborhood. You remember this. People do go to your house all the time. They do visit in there. They check in there all the time to see what is going on. And so they are stealing this thing from midnight to around 5 a.m., putting them in sacks and book bags and selling them or selling them out. So make sure that you have these things in place um, before you do your wiring. Okay. Make sure you have that, because now they are taking them very efficiently. Or another, so that's the first one. The second one would be still secure the property fence or electrical wires. Is entry points, doors, exterior doors, and windows, um, and then have a neighbor, probably compensate a neighbor, give them some money to be watching your project for you. And so if they hear anything, and have a good relationship with the local police in whatever you be. But sometimes you don't have a neighbor, or your neighbor is a little bit down the street, and so they are not adjacent to you, they might not see that. So it's becoming nuisance. Quality wirings are not cheap. People have taken wires worth, three, four, $5,000, $6,000 just stolen, right? And so we have to be mindful that these things do happen. Not every builder is security oriented. Don't fall for it like it's in a safe neighborhood. There's nothing called safe neighborhood. Every neighborhood has crime. It depends on the level of criminal activity. And so you have to think it's your investment. So good question here. Good question. How can you fence this when you just then another way you can do it, I did in the Kaswa house is I put a wire right from the pole to just wire to that as well to like maybe one bedroom. And then that would just go for the fencing. So you go straight. So you don't have a meter yet, right? You pulling it from the if you have sometimes you don't have a electrical pole in front of the house. If that is the case, then basically you still have to if you don't have that, then you still secure the property. How would they know if the electrical wire is active or not? How would they know? Right? So you have a brief period of time to get a meter and install everything in, get get a power active. You have some time, or somebody's on the property. If somebody's occupying the property, it makes it less likely that people will come in and try to do that as well. And so there's a bunch of psychological games you can play that will be on your favor. That I can't go to my details here as well, but make sure that even if you don't have power yet, then there's somebody on site, but all the doors are secured, the windows are secured. Okay. But don't just secure the windows, the doors, and then people, because when they get in the property, everything else can be defeated over time. Especially when they have time, no matter what, all doors can be defeated. Some are difficult, some are easier, but if they have the time, they can eventually, get in there and strip things open. So have oversight, right? Have oversight. So if you have an electrical pole in front, put a wire to the house, and just for the meantime connect it to just your electrical wires, and then after that you can decide what you want to do. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful. And so one thing too, I think I was thinking about this for us that are building. I think that this is where we can be our brother's keeper. We can watch out, making sure that our respective electricians are not using stolen wires and cables. Right? They're not bringing cables to the side. That looks like it's a series of wires that have been connected together. Because, for example, if I see that on my site, I'll probably get him arrested. I don't want stolen property on my site. No, no. Even if it's free, don't want it. And so we have to be, you know, vigilant in this area because you got a quote from different people and they told you the wire is 2,000 cities and he's giving you a quote saying it's 1,000 cities for the same wire. Either it's fake or he already got some wire somewhere that he wants to use. So I think we have to have that conversation with them and say, listen, don't want you stealing properties, other people's stuff and bringing it here. And that's Africa for you. Don't be taking people's stuff. Okay, so we have to have that conversation. Have that conversation with them to make sure that we are checking and making sure that we don't become beneficiary of stealing somebody's pain. Hopefully, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, so get good electrical wiring is very, very important. Make sure you got everything before you do your plastering work. If you can think about it, if it's something remotely 20%, 30% in your mind, just make the provisions easier to just wire the stuff. Even like sometimes I tell people they said CCTV, they're not sure. I said, wire it anyway, you know. So wire it anyway. When the time is ready, you can just, put your devices in there and stuff like that. Because you never know, right? Just because you don't have money this year doesn't mean next year, you're not gonna have money. So just do these things and take your time, do it at the right time. Skip with chances are with the sequence your builder is telling you probably the wiring is going to be coming soon. Skip all that. Forget it. Let them do the plumbing. Skip that. And down the road to the whole place is secure. Then you put your wires in. Other than that, when you put it out there, you're exposing yourself for all kinds of stuff to happen. And the system is hot. System is hot. So do your fire test. Those who just showed up, I talk about the fire test the first 5 minutes. So do your fire test to make sure your cable or wires are really, really good, and stuff like that. So you have to do that. That's something that you can do if you're on the ground. If you're not on the ground, your electrician can do it through a video call, and you can see. So um let's not really let them focus on good deal, good deal, good deal. Okay, Chris got a question. Let me see. So, but we do not let them buy the electrical cables before them to purchase the wire. So here's the thing. So here's the thing. Um, you may go to buy. The question is, can you determine whether it's a quality wire or not, right? And so, like personally, I don't follow any of my guys to go buy anything. If they build something crappy and it doesn't work, it's coming out of their pocket. Okay, and I'm gonna find them and they're gonna replace it with a genuine one. And so sometimes, people, depending on your relationship and how you present yourself, people stay away from some kind of stuff. And so if you if you're adverse and you know the quality of your wires and you know exactly what to get the brands and you want to buy them, that's fine. You can buy them. Just make sure you have enough quantity, you can buy them. But sometimes it's like you really don't know. You are the mercy of the technical person in that specific area, and stuff like, because I'm not following my electrician anywhere. It's like, to me, no, I'm not gonna do that because he's always done a good job. He's one of my most trusted person on the team, and so I just tell him what I want, and then he goes by and he knows I will pay for quality. So we're not even discussing some terrible wires. We are looking for one of the best that is going to do the job. So everybody's different, but if you follow them, or maybe I think you're following them because of the cost, whatever, and stuff like that, that's something you can also check, with other people to see if the cost is right. But the quality wise, there are fake ones in there though, and their quality. So wiring is one of those things that you don't want to have a problem, because when you start having a problem with your wires, it's going to put a bad taste in your mouth. So is one of those areas that we are going to spend a little bit of money, which I think is fair, because the wires should be, you don't have to replace them. They should be good, right? So let's buy the quality one, make sure they install it, make sure it's not stolen. And if you have the ability, the knowledge to differentiate quality ones and you want to buy them, just check with your electrician, is going to work, and buy it. I buy stuff from here sometimes. Like my transformer, I buy it from here, but I have a communication with my electrician to make sure that it's going to be the wattage is going to be appropriate for the house. So it's just communication. But sometimes for most people, the electrician will probably go by the stuff, but have the conversation with them. If it comes and the product is not up to par, they'll replace it at their own cost. Okay. Well, so I would say don't do them. Still don't put a wires in. The burglar proof can be defeated. Can be defeated. Okay. Yeah, it can be defeated. All right. So don't do it. If you are doing it this way, Bridgie, still have somebody on site. I'm not a because listen, this is what happens. It takes a few days for people to know that nobody lives in this house, right? It's equivalent of having a nice car with the windows down. Even if you're not a thief, you tend to want to look inside to see what is something. Now, what if the person is walking by, to look inside and they see a laptop? The person's not a thief, but it's just, you're putting yourself in that kind of situation. So having it, so if you want to do the burglar proof and some burglar proof gate, whatever, before you put a real doors in there, then you still have somebody oversight. And you have to let that person know the day those wires are stolen, they'll pay a visit to the Ghana police, because sometimes people collaborate and do that kinds of stuff. And so you will wait, because you don't need the wires right now. You don't. You really don't need the wires. Okay. They'll bring their own portable generator to do the work. And so especially if you're not gonna occupy the house, if you don't have anybody there, let it wait to down the road before you put them in there. Okay. How do you find a good electrician? Word of mouth. Word of mouth. It's hard to just go online and look for somebody and stuff like that. Our part of the world is just word of mouth, and also too, good is relative. Good is relative. What I mean by that is there is certain electricians that are exposed to working at a Trazaco in big hotels, and so they see different things. They see different lighting applications, different kinds of stuff. They can give you that experience. Um, and stuff like that. And so the electrician may be good, but they may be limited in terms of exposure, right? Exposure to what it is that they can add value. That's what you are paying for. If you go to your house and all your electrical outlet looks like something you can do, you really didn't get value out of that, right? So you're paying for the value, and stuff like that. So that is what I pay for. So I that I could have done by myself. So look for the electrician that can deliver, and give you some insight, because I can tell you the electrical schemes on Blueprint are still limited, are very limited sometimes, because remember, think about it this way: when your design comes from outside, right? They're probably street light. In Ghana, maybe where you are, there's no street light, so you might need a little more lights. You might need a little bit more light. So a good electrician can say, okay, we're gonna put lights here, we're gonna put this type of wall, we're gonna put all this light here, because more light means you can see, prevent somebody lurking around and that kinds of stuff. Not everybody thinks like that, right? And so a good electrician is good. Yes, 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 yes. No, yeah, yeah. Reach out to us. So this is what I'm gonna tell you, my electrician. Like, you know, I think he's dope. I think, like, I've known him 8 years now. He's one of the few people that have access to my house. You know, he's good, very, very good. There's nothing he can do when it comes to electrical stuff. He's not cheap, but he's going to give you something that rarely you could find, because his work is very detailed, he's organized, and he enjoy the work. And so he's going to deliver, and something happens, he will show up and fix it, right? And so my electrician, dope. If you want our guys, reach out to us. We'll figure something out. It's not for everybody, but if you want the value of, he's going to give you certain things that is going to be unique in your house. Some housing, even the layout is really bad. You got to walk across the other side to turn off the light. All those things. He can help you with that, um, and stuff like that. So you can reach out to us. Okay. Well, so this is what I would say. Get some information that the answer, and ask them. So talk to them. Talk to them and say, what do you think this? Okay. This is how you know you are testing people to see if they are legit. I do that all the time. And so that lets you know like they are legit, they know what they are doing. Don't just go by the years of experience, right? There are people that have been driving for 10 years and they are terrible drivers. Okay. So just don't go by that. And so ask questions. What is something? Don't just say, he ask them this, he ask them to do something and they say, I can do it. No, let them explain to you how they're going to execute it to see if all that makes sense. So, like, for example, like, I can control multiple lights in my the castle house from different place. If I'm sleeping, I can control my lights from the bed. When I'm leaving the room, I can control it while by the door. So there's multiple ways to turn things off. Turn things off. When I'm on the staircase, I can control up. When I'm upstairs, I can control the light in the staircase. When I'm downstairs, I can control that. So it's just this little details of convenience, right? That separate you instead of like somebody have to go downstairs and turn the light off, whatever, on the staircase and that kind of stuff. So it's those things. And they can also look at it and say, okay, with the house design, if I put both lighting on two sides, it's going to make the door pop. These are all creative ideas that certain electricians, because they work on multi-million dollar projects, they bring those ideas and give it to you, even though your house you are betting is like 100,000, 150 or 200,000, but you're getting the execution from this other expensive homes. So there's certain things that it may be simple, few things, but that can like separate itself. Okay. So once like then you realize it's a mistake, depending on the mistakes, right? Depending on the mistakes, if it's wiring, they can just pull out the wire and rewire them again. Ideally, this is the problem. Okay, this is the issue. We've gone to certain sites that we don't know what the electrician did, and that is why we always use a certified electrician, because a certified electrician, when their job is done, and another electrician comes there, they can easily trace things, right? Can easily trace things because there's a formula they must follow. But you have everybody in there, so these are important. The goal is to that whenever somebody comes over there, another electrician can see it and say, okay, all right, this is the problem with a few testing and stuff like that. And so depending on what it is, because things do happen, you do get by wiring. It's happened before. They remove it, put a new one, back is working again. So that is there. If it's wiring, it's easy to pull out and put another in there. Now, if they have to make another outlet, sometimes they can pull it from the parallel line and do it and stuff else. Sometimes they just have to crack the wall and put a whole different system in there. And so that's why I'm saying that before we get excited to plaster quickly. That's why I say that we should wait. We should wait a little bit because the former will tell you after block work, plaster, put your pipes in, plaster. But I say wait and start thinking, okay, what else would I need in my bathrooms? What do I need in my living rooms? What do I need in my dining rooms? Okay, my bedroom, my office. What other outlet, what other things would I need here? And then you start taking your time and making those decisions. So when you plaster, you are good. And sometimes go and take measurement of things and then come in there. So okay, I want this thing down here. I want this thing down here. So then make sure that everything is going to work. It's all important. It's really important. Okay. Yes, so they can make the provisions. A good electrician should be able to do it with a Caswell house. I made provisions at that time for either solar or generator, which was easier. If you have a story building and probably you're going to put your panels, most people put their panels on the roof. You got to create a piping system that you're going to ride the cable all the way down to your circuit board and where you're going to store your batteries, and preferably the batteries generate heat, so you want airflow. So these discussions, you can talk to a solar company. They might come over there, they might give you some information. With your electrician being there, that you can make provisions. So when you're ready, you just connect your panels, you run your cable through your pipes that is embedded into the building to where your circuit board is, your panel is, and you connect everything, you test everything's working, boom, you're ready to go. So those provisions should be made now than you trying to figure it out how you're gonna put that big ass cable from the panels, and you're gonna start cracking the wall and figure how you're gonna maneuver all those things. That's a consultation tip. Okay. So those are some of the things that when we looked at and we say we make provisions here, the second house I already made provisions for my solar panels already. It's a pipe going from the main all the way through the ceiling, going all the way to the rooftop. Okay. And so it's about doing that. Okay. No, so no, so you can't go through the decking because those cables, those cables, electrical cables are bigger, maybe what is it, 2.5 inches or diameter. So those you are going to those will go straight, depending on the design, right? So basically what it is you're gonna run a pipe, vertical pipe. So it's gonna go straight, vertical up through the wall. And if you are doing a hidden roof, that's going to go up there. And then so when you do your panels, you're going to drop the cable through that, and it's going to come straight down to where you're going to connect your solar units and your batteries and that kinds of stuff. So it's not going to be the one that you see those little, 1 inch pipe they put in the decking. No, it's going to be a vertical wire, maybe 3.5 to 4 inch PVC pipe that's gonna go straight. And this the whole goal is just to run the cable through that. And obviously they will take care of to make sure water is not coming through that kinds of stuff. So when we look at plans in consultation based on the plan, we look at it, say, okay, put your electrical board here and stuff like because it's easier for a couple of things. So reach out to us and we can look at it to see if it's going to work, but it has to be a vertical pipe. It's not the ones for decking. Okay. It might go through the decking straight up, but usually it's easier just to run it around the wall, and then it's embedded in the blockwork. All right. Wow, time flies. Okay, a few more questions, and then we are going to wrap it up. But it's good. It's good you make these decisions. You make these decisions now because maybe when you finish building, you may not have the money to do solar right away, but it will be much easier, much more efficient than when you get the money for solar. The panels they can run the cable is much more easier, and you already have a place where you're gonna store your batteries, and hopefully there's ventilation over there, because those needs to they are going to generate heat, and you want airflow in there as well. So there's a couple of things that we do to make sure that we can get circulation and stuff like that in there. All right. And so, but I will bring the solar company, pay them, whatever, let them come, let them look at where it will fit, where you can store your batteries. They will be better assets to you. Every house is different, where they can fit and how you can run with your electrician over there and how you can run those things. And so when you're ready, things are going to work well. That is the most efficient way than to be you're living in your house and you want to start cracking the wall when you already painted the house and everything, and then you want to try to figure a way to get some pipe somewhere. It's not it's not the best use of you know stuff like that. All right. All right, subscribe, click the like button, share the videos. Hopefully it has been very informative to you. So just if you just got here, just rewatch it and then basically kind of stuff. So let me see. Um well, at least do the test, right? So do the test. Do the test that I spoke about in the first 5 6 minutes of the video. Do the test and see that, because at certain point, as much as we all try to make sure we have eyes and everything, there's certain things that are still beyond your control. If you're not there, you're not there, right? But also, hopefully, the relationship have been developed that, listen, you want things to be done appropriately, and that kinds of stuff. So you will still, you kind of like limited, stuff like that. So hopefully you got a good person who's ethical and who's going to deliver, for you and stuff like that. So that is why the word of mouth becomes important. I don't recommend people I have not really worked with, or I have not really trusted them. When I mean trust them, it's like I know they will deliver. So there's another one builder in Ghana that I've vetted. I've known him for some time. We've talked, he's come to my house and stuff like that. Sometimes, when we have too much, hey, or even send guys to him to help them with their land purchases and stuff like that, because I know he's solid. Other than that, and even if somebody pay me to come say something, I won't do it. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not promoting nothing that I personally have not experienced or I cannot vouch 100% for. So you still have to have that communication with them, and there's other things I can't say here. Okay, to for you to be able to make sure that they did actually did the work, um that I can get into. Wolfgang, I did a video. It's under this link, the description, about down proof. I think we should watch the down proof. Um, there's a ton of stuff we must understand. You must know the properties of water. You must understand the forces that interact with water. Water tendency, what it likes to do, how water is repelled, and a bunch of stuff, right? That you need to factor in to do an effective down proof. A lot of stuff, right? Because people are focusing that where's the rain coming from? Up, going down. So it's not always the groundwater that you have to deal with. That is important. But you also the rainwater that is coming, Ghana massive rain, soil composition. There's a bunch of stuff. So look at that as well. It's unfortunate my sister is going through that. We all went through that with our first project too, as well, because these things happen, and that's what I'm always say, that you make a mistake if you think your foreman understand these things, because what these guys are doing is people are doing foundation and looking on the ground to determine whether they should do down proof or not. We do down proof the right way, whether there's water or no water. That's the standard. And we're gonna do other things as well. Some will be public, some will not be public. Because we understand that the moment you start having that issue, it becomes a problem. Okay, it becomes a problem because you cannot lift your house and redo your foundation and put it back in. So French drain is important as well, but it's also there's a bunch of stuff, right? Capillary action as water is rising, right? So there's a bunch of stuff we have to do. There's no one thing alone that is sufficient. Okay. There's no one thing. There's a series of things you have to do. Factoring the environment, the rainfall. Rainfall different places are different amount in Ghana. So all those things you are factoring in to make sure that the house is solid. There's nothing called an overkill for dealing with potential dampness. There's nothing called like that. But the whole totality stuff. So that video is going to help you get you there. But there's some other things, consultation as well. So, okay. All right. Okay. If we, wow, time flies. All right. So I'll keep it brief, keep building, build well, build safe, build strong, keep an eyes on things, demand the best, respect your crew, be vigilant, always understand, use the resources. We have stuff for you. Get them. It's going to help you in there. People buy them and they use it. If you've said the website, thank you. Go there, use them because you are new and you're excited. And there's a learning curve, just like anything. You didn't get where you are without learning things and building your experience and stuff like that. All this thing matters because when your builder forgets something, your job is to catch it. I'm not in Ghana right now, but believe me, 99.9% of the decisions I am making, telling them this is how you're doing it, this is what I want, and it's being executed. We are not having a pissy fight about anything. And so, and if there's an objection, they will let me know XYZ. Sometimes from the angle they are right, we do that. But I'm still determining the pace. I'm determining what we do next because I have the information and I can say this is how we doing because it's your dream house. Your foreman is not in your head. Okay, they're not in your head. So a lot of ideas are in your head. They are executing what you're telling them and what they want, what they think is the way to go. You might be different. So the communication is important, and you sometimes have to also, you know, expand yourself and use the resources and get information and execute well. I don't, I don't think like if you are building right now, you should be having damp proof issues. I don't think so. If you are doing your foundation now, and you and 10 and 2 years, 3 years from now, you finish your house and you have damp proof issue, man, it should not happen. It should not happen now. We didn't know all those things down the road. So we built and we pay for it. So my sister Shaniqua is not alone. I went through that with my Kaswa house too. Same thing. Okay. And so we are learning and our goal is to, make things better. Okay. So consultation is available for you. I would say everybody should do it because you must understand this thing called building, how it's going to take, what is going to happen, what do you need to watch out for when you're not there, how you want to make sure that you have eyes, somebody's watching the watcher, and all those things. Okay. And so it's very, very important. It's not, don't stop thinking, oh, because Tony is trying to make money. That is not the point. That's not the point is that the value of that information is there to help you. Okay. As well. Okay, so so the Kaswan, I'm kind of doing what she's doing. Mine was only localized to about 30% of the ground floor and stuff like that. So basically, scrape everything, apply some stuff that I don't want to talk about publicly, and then apply the dump proof. There's a bunch of things you need to do, uh, and stuff like that. So I've not had that problem again. But with the second build, I was like, no way. So I went all out, and I'm still not done with my damn proof treatment. There'll be some other things that when I get to a certain level, that'll be done to make sure is 100% proof. So we should not be doing that. I know it's a little bit cost. Let's pay it at the foundation level and have a peace of mind, right? Because it sucks. I'll tell you, you build a house, you better enjoy, and you still seeing this stuff. It's just nobody wants to live like that. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, some people do have a problem. I think we all need money. We all need money. It's important, legitimately though. Make it right. I think it's important, and I'm all for when you find people that are giving you value, support them. Support them. If it's valuable, support them. Okay, that is always important. And at the end of the day, is results. I care about the result. Listen, I will pay for information that personally is going to move my life forward, like not feeling. I'll not pay for a feeling. I'll pay for something that is going to give me a result that is tangible. I can feel it, I can see it, I can touch it, right? I'm not going to watch a video and somebody's gonna make me feel good and I'm gonna send them money. I'm not gonna do that. But if they give me information that I can go apply and win, I will support that. That is just me. All right. So the proof video is in there. It's in the description. Look at it. Stuff like that. And then go to our website and use the services. Like I said, I love being on YouTube. I'm learning myself every day. Sharing with you what is going on. And obviously, there's so many things I can say. Some I hold back because sometimes people take things the wrong way, and some things are not for public. Um, and stuff like that. So, but it's a I enjoy it with all the headaches. Sometimes I enjoy it, and someday I would this YouTube thing to come to an end, and because I have felt that I've exceeded, I've given everything that I could at that time, and stuff like that. So, all right, seems like I've not been following that. I don't have bad vibes. I don't have bad vibes about anything. So remember too, sometimes people don't know. People do talk to me a lot. People send me stuff. I've read contracts I've read indentures, bad indenture plans. And Ghana is big, but it's very small. And people do talk. And so sometimes, when I'm saying something, there's more meat on the bone. So it's not a feeling thing. It's just because um I wouldn't buy a land that the owner is going to have too much leverage. I don't care even if it's for free. I won't take it. If I'm paying for it, I'm leasing it. I want all the leverage and all kinds of stuff. So it's not a feeling oriented. It's more like people need to just pay attention to some of these things and stuff. So I've not paid attention to development. So usually when people reach out to me with some land stuff, I say, listen, send me the indenture. And we run it through, with people on the ground, some lawyers sometimes. And they tell us, listen, you know, this is wide open for all kinds of things. And I advise them otherwise. Okay. So it's never personal. Abrimpon, yes. You got your stuff done? Good. Um, yes, yes, Johnny is good. Johnny is good. Listen, there's some good people out there. It's like he's good. Anybody I send to you is legit. It's legit. They've been vetted. I work with Johnny all the time. I can count on him to go and deliver. Um, you know, and stuff. So I'm glad you're happy with the product. That is always important, right? We and people don't even know this. Most of the money I make from everything else goes to these guys. We need to get them employed, and 98% of the time, I make zero money from the recommendation and all that stuff. But it's fine. I want these guys to be able to take care of their families, keep them off the street. Okay, so Johnny's good. Johnny's legit. Um, you know, Yeah, it depends. Parking it depends. You have to look at it's necessary though, right? So so it's functioning right. So why are they doing it? Basically to keep the water off the block. So that is the most important thing. Some people are doing with design and stuff like that. So most people are doing it. I mean, for the house, some people are doing it because it's like they're doing hidden roof. That is fine. I think minimum is best with that. And even when you do your fence wall, you still have to do it. It's very important. You want to keep the water off. We talk about dampness now. So you have to understand why we do certain things, not just for design oriented, but there's a function aspect. So it has to design the angle has to be right. So make sure water doesn't go along and create problems, right? So depending on, I always say your architectural style is going to determine a bunch of designs. Sometimes we overdo it and it doesn't work well because the house looks very confused. So all kinds of stuff in there. So just paint. Paint can do painting. The right paint can put our whole house in a different level. And so minimum designs, clean looks. If it's Mediterranean, you can go a little bit, crazy. Limit on the pillars though. Let's limit on the pillars a little bit. Too much sometimes they block the view. And two, two on each side, max. Design well. If it's one, then a little bit thicker, and then you can do a more design around it to make it looks good. And so those things. It's about being creative. Okay. Yeah. So okay. So concrete blocks, cement blocks, corridors blocks. If the cement blocks ratio is maintained, then well, it's fine. Okay, it's fine. Okay, people are getting using corridors because people are making crappy cement blocks. The ratio is off. Sometimes it's just like, man, they're cutting down the cement, which is the main ingredient and stuff. So, we did ours. We brought the guys from Kumasi to come do the block work because we had a job in Eastern region. They came there, they did a good job. So we brought them there to do the block. So if the ratio is done, it's fine. Um, and so if it's not, people are doing, because if you do corridors and you still don't maintain the ratio, it's not going to be strong. Okay. So just maintain all the fundamentals. Yeah. He's good. He's good. Johnny's dope. Johnny's dope. Yeah, he'll deliver. He'll deliver. They'll do well. Happy birthday, by the way. Um, all right. Okay. Don, appreciate you. Watch the video, share the videos, move forward, win. Build these houses, build them well. Listen, that's all I care about. I don't care about everything else, whatever the word is. Some say, Tony, with the Ukrainian war and all that stuff is happening in the world anyway. What do you think? Should I hold my money? Build anyway. What if the world collapse? Build anyway. Because if the world goes crazy, we all don't survive, so it doesn't really matter. So build anyway. There's no any excuse that's going to justify. Let's build these houses well quickly, and then we can save our money, and then we can enjoy the hard work that we've done. It would be nice if you're able to enjoy this house, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. It's great. And so let's all do that. That is all I care about. I don't care about any other thing else. It's us building these homes and creating the legacy and and transferring those things. Okay. So reach out to us, as you can, and we'll take it. We'll take it from there. Okay. All right. Appreciate the love. Thank you. Stay focused. Stay hungry. Stay determined. Disciplined. Focus. Single focus. Don't let anything distract you. Tony is good. I'll be here. You ain't gotta worry about me. And you go and win. And I love the success stories when people are coming and you're sharing how they're overcoming things and stuff like that. That is awesome. That is all I care about. When we want so many people to win, so that when we get together, it will be in a company of accomplished people. That's what we need. Okay. So smash the like button, subscribe. I want everybody here to smash. And then the dump proof video that I did about 3 months ago is in the description on this video. So take a look at it. And stuff like that. I'll cover most of the things and stuff like that. So all the same, appreciate everyone. Thank you. Stay safe. The dream still lives on, and you are more than capable. Okay. All right. Bye.